Okay, so now it's June 7th of 2023. I am going to upload this video, this one right here. You're not going to see anything on it because the camera is just facing towards the wall, okay? And this was a visit with the quote-unquote feeding team, which encompassed the speech therapist, and there was somebody else there that had a different department, and then there's another person that runs around within another different department. Okay, all associated with the feeding team. For, this is something I'm required to do in order to be signed up with this at-home program. Okay, because when children are born with cerebral palsy in the province of British Columbia, Canada, it's almost like it's an automatic given where they're signed up to this particular program that's connected to the Child Development Center people. Okay, hold on a minute. And then from there, and then that with them, it's only the first 5 years or so through them, and then those groups, those individuals within that group, under that umbrella of the Child Development Center, give referrals for like those drinks that come from the at-home program, the PEG, the diapers, right? There's diapers, PEG, and those supplemental drinks, right? And then vitamin D. Okay. So it's like I have to participate in this because it's the way the government has set up their tracking system, people. Their tracking system. Now, when I went in for this appointment, I'm going to put this first, okay? And then I'm going to add that in, and we're going to do this quote-unquote for educational purposes, right? Because it's tough. It's tough having a disabled child. That in itself is tough, okay? And then to have your life basically taken over. Okay, I want to be candid about this. Okay, because I'm sure other people feel this way. Maybe other people aren't so vocal about it. Other people are maybe more accepting of it because it relieves the pressure of the responsibility of that daily grind, right? In terms of, it would be very easy. It would be very easy for me, people, to put Amari on this medication and let him sleep his life away for a half a day when he's not sleeping at night. In other words, he's active for a quarter of waking time because the rest of the time they got him drowsy and sleepy and nauseated and wanting to feel vominating, like to whatever. Whereas keeping him as he is, I have to go check on him every 2, 3, 4, 5 minutes. Just saying, okay? If he was on this, I'd have to check on him maybe once every hour or two. But you could go check on him and he could have vomited, and who knows what you're going to find. So to me, it doesn't balance out with the risk. And also, I would prefer to have him alert, active, moving around, being whatever, experimenting with his strengths and reaching out and, and calculating and thinking how he's going to move himself over there and what's he going to do. And, he sees something over there and he wants it, whatever, right? I'd rather have him that way than listless, lethargic, and I don't know. Okay, so either or, when it comes time to deal with that particular group of people, we know it's going to be an issue, right? But with this group of people, I just let them know where I'm at with things, okay? And I'm going to just highlight that you know, Amari's a pretty easygoing little guy, okay? But if the thing is, you know, they got him on this 6-month regime. It's a regime, people. And honestly, when I come into contact with these women or whoever, it doesn't matter. It's almost like each and every individual. I always feel like I'm up against people that are on a witch hunt. I've been saying it for years, ever since I got Amari. So that's nothing new, right? Because the pressure to explain yourself and to, you know, justify your choices, or to not feel threatened or inadequate with the fact that ever since Amari's drinks changed, something changed where he had the seizure, and from that point forward, his eating, his appetite, his eating skills, whatever you want to call it, changed. And I've been left to deal with the aftermath. Just like with the birth of his injury, people. If he would have been born uninjured, I still believe he was injured at the time of his birth. They left it too long, people, and that's why I'm working on Shamay's medical files, okay? To which, this is how much I got done for the lawyer right now, okay? This pile here is the lawyer's. So far, Andre's, and that's Shamay's medical files from the time of her birth to the time of Amari's birth. Okay. So I'm almost at the halfway mark. And of course, there's sticky tapes in there just to highlight little notes and this, that, and everything, right? And then I've got, oh, I don't even know where it is. I cleared off a spot here. Well, it was cleared off. Not anymore. But now I've got the big one. This is the big one. Oh my God. This is how much taxpayers paid for when they put Shamay's dead body on a hospital bed for 9 days. Now, do any of these individuals that work in these departments care about that? Well, obviously not, because it hasn't happened to one of their family members. But I'm sure if it would have happened to one of their family members and they were freaking clued into it, and you know, they know what was going after the fact, they figured it out, right? You know what I'm saying? Their feelings would probably be different, unless of course they're one of those individuals that like that kind of stuff. But in the meantime, this is what I have to do next for the lawyer, because it's, you know, what happened to the mother? Well, I don't know. You tell me. The last time I spoke to Dr. Fasinski, well, not the last time, in 2018, as everything was unfolding, I told my family doctor that I wanted to take the government to court because blah, blah, blah. He told me that, yes, Shamay was dead before she left the house, but that I should get a lawyer because we live in Canada, and Canada is corrupt, and I'll never be able to take the government to court by myself and hold them to account for what they did to my dead daughter's body, because this is basically what they fucking did. Okay? And being that this lawyer knows how to read medical files, I thought it would be interesting for her. Because I don't think she's going to come across too many fucking medical files like this. Okay? You can't fight for Amari without knowing the story of Shamay. Right? So, I still have to do this, which I'm going to start clearing off again and getting ready to work on it. It will take me a few days because I take the time to do a little bit of this, so that when she's going through them, and then she'll write, and it will be easier for her to categorize and see the bigger picture. You see, that's the thing. Okay? So, okay, so if Amari was born normal, like a normal little child, life would be completely different for everybody. Okay? But he wasn't. In my opinion, he was injured at the time of his birth. Sooner or later, we're going to get to the crutch of it. Okay? One way or another. It's going to be determined a yay or a nay. Right? And like I said, if this woman can't convince me that it's a nay and explicitly explain to me why it's a nay, then I will go for a second opinion. In the meantime, I'm going to give this woman the benefit of the doubt, and I'm going to try and give her as much information as I can. So I'm going to finish Shamay's death files. Don't even call them medical files, because the taxpayers paid out, probably God people, you don't even know. We'll just cap it at $800,000 to keep a dead body alive on a fucking hospital bed for shenanigans, because they took out her organs and fucking sold them on the black market. Okay? So, in the meantime, because of all that, because I do believe my daughter was put on a hit list, it's supply and demand. Somebody came in with the demand, and they needed a supply. Okay? Julian was cued by the cops. Julian and the cops, in some kind of weird way, were working together. And Julian thought he was going to get the baby as the reward and the ability to continue to sell his drugs, run around like a fucking hoodlum, and get away with it. Okay? 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 I was here, alright? And in this medical file, where Amari was born, one of those workers noticed Julian's possessiveness over the baby and his attitude, people, when Shamay was in the hospital, on the hospital bed after giving birth via an emergency C-section. Because she noted it down that Julian was prominent to say, my baby, my baby. So, considering what they did when they bamboozled Shamay to go to their mother's house because they couldn't control themselves when they were coming here to see Amari when after Shamay got home from the hospital. I know, I veered off from what I was talking about, but this is important, people, because once they got her to the house over there, to Julian's mother's house, you know, they started filling out the birth certificate online. Right? Her name was on the birth certificate. His name was on the birth certificate. Everything was ready to go. All they had to do was push the go-to button. But they picked a fucking fight. Shamay turned her head. Whoever else was turned around, went on the computer, right? Because everything was up and ready to go. Took off her name and pushed send. So by the time the argument was done, they, you know, oh no, it's okay, it's already been done. Okay, fine, she comes home. 3 weeks later, the birth certificate comes in the mail, and there was no Chorney on it, people. They removed her name. Her face dropped when she opened up the envelope because she was sitting right here. Because Julian had already determined on the day that Amari was born that he was going to try and take that baby away from Shamay. Because you have to remember, just because in her medical files it said, you know, they were together. No, he was not living here. He was living at his fucking mother's house. He caused a lot of trouble. Shamay wasn't happy with him. Okay, she didn't really want to be with him by this point because you know, she was becoming a mother, right? And she was, but she was putting up with his bullshit crap, right? Tried to give him a fucking chance, and he was just plotting and scheming with his sister and his mother how they were going to take the baby. And one of those workers, when Shamay was on, you know, after giving birth, they noted it down that he was acting kind of odd. My baby, you know, being elusive, being whatever, right? Yeah. So, okay. That doesn't help Amari. But what it did, in the end, people, is I'm left to pick up the broken pieces. And I'm always under scrutiny. And even though these individuals, these women, the speech therapist, that person, all under the umbrella of the feeding team, the dietitian, the speech therapist, this person, whatever, all under the umbrella of the feeding team. I feel like I'm coming into contact, and I've been saying it since get-go, like each and every one of them is a fucking social worker that's out to get me. Because you as a caregiver are put on this pedestal to correct the wrong that you didn't create. In other words, Amari is a damaged child. He will always be damaged because he was injured, okay? And with that injury manifested severe consequences. And now I am expected to take those consequences and somehow magically turn him into an Amazon, a Viking, 6'4", strong, muscular, handsome, smart as a whip fella. As if Amari will ever be that. It's impossible. So when I go to these appointments, it doesn't matter what the appointment is or who it is, people, under this umbrella of a government fucking program. Because you have to remember, Amari was signed up into this program the minute it was determined that he had, quote unquote, cerebral palsy, but they tried to hide it, people. You see, that's the thing. They tried to fucking hide it because they didn't want to get the finger pointed at them for the injury that they created on him. Instead, we know they tried to shift the blame onto Shamay, and then through her medical files subliminally suggest that Amari was injured the way he is because of drug use. Listen, let me tell you something. If there was any truth to that, people, the first person that would have qualified for that scenario would have been Andre. Sierra's mom, Andre's mom, Sierra, she was the freaking addict. Methamphetamine, people. Heroin, people. I'm sure she did some fucking crack in there once in a blue moon. But you see, Sierra was kind of a little streetwise, right? She knew that the crack is the one that really can cause the problems with the birth injuries, in terms of the real serious birth injuries with the cleft lip and all this other crap. Not so much the heroin, not so much the quote-unquote cocaine. Obviously, methamphetamine is an issue, right? But Sierra was already on heroin by that time, right? I just couldn't get her on the methadone. I tried for like 2 years, a year and a half, or whatever it was, to try and get her on the methadone, even before she became pregnant with Amari. With Andre. We're talking about Sierra here. Right? And then she got pregnant. And then when everybody out in the streets found out that she was pregnant, they wanted to keep pimping her, people. They wanted her to be the fucking, right? There was women out there and shit that were pimping her, and, and keep it, right? I used to go out and I got videos of her talking about being freaking kidnapped. These girls out there were trying to kidnap Sierra. Right? And I'm running around grabbing her off the fucking streets, right? Telling her no. And they all wanted her to have an abortion. I told her no. No. Just stop the drugs. You go down on the methadone. Do whatever you got. You can stay here. You will be fine. Andre will be fine. It took me 3 months to get her to finally just stop and be consistent with the methadone, people. So if there was going to be any kind of birth injury in relation to drug abuse, it would have been Andre, not Amari. In her medical files, it talks about her going to the hospital for follow-ups in terms of ultrasounds and to see the growth of the baby and all that shit. But then on the same breath, they're talking about how she didn't get no prenatal care, as if she crawled off the streets as some ragged drug addict that never got no prenatal care and just fell through the fucking cracks. Because if you're not able to read and connect the dots, you're going to miss those dots. And you're just going to go with what stands out in terms of, oh, she didn't get no prenatal care. No wonder why Amari is the way he is, because she admitted to doing drugs in March, even though he was born in September. All they have to do is look at that and ignore everything else in the middle where it says that she got this ultrasound, she's seen this doctor, she's seen that doctor, she went to that clinic, she went there. Damn right she got prenatal care. But you see what the government has done, this is what the government has done, people, in the province of British Columbia, Canada. They've made it where women don't have those baby doctors from the beginning of their pregnancy to the end of their pregnancy. What they do is they tell these doctors in these clinics to refer these women to the prenatal center, to the prenatal clinic, or to that clinic, right? And then they've got these women basically bouncing around with different, I suppose, baby doctors, but that are all connected to one kind of, or two clinics, versus where when you had my kids, I'd get pregnant, I'd go to my family doctor would hook me up with a baby doctor. Once I met that baby doctor, that doctor was with me until he delivered the baby. Do you understand? Big freaking difference. Shamay doesn't, Shamay, but the point is, there should be no reason for them to be putting in that she received no prenatal care outside of they were trying to distract away from what they did to Amari. Because just with the fact that they sent her home within 2 times within a 5-day period, and then tried to mask over her labor pains with morphine to justify sending her home, shows negligence right there. Because if I was with an actual family baby doctor, literally, that wouldn't have happened. My family baby doctor would have decided to induce me, admit me into the hospital, induced me, and then follow through until the birth. Okay? Even if it means he comes in with his hair all fraggled, right? Because, he's sleeping because the baby's coming, but he doesn't want to leave the hospital because he knows it's just a matter of time before Mark Haynes coming out. Oh man, this one doctor, Mark Haynes' doctor, oh, he was the best baby doctor I ever had, people. He was so funny. It was like 4 o'clock in the morning or whatever the hell it was. You know how babies are, right? And, the epidural was going up to here. That's the one where they had to turn off the epidural because it was starting to freeze up into here. But our Mark Hayne was a 9-pound baby, and it took a long time to push him out. But anyway, this doctor, he came in, right? And his hair was all frazzled. But he was just a happy-go-lucky, really friendly doctor. And so anyway, this is what I mean. Like, they don't provide the women this anymore. No. Where was the family doctor? Where was the baby doctor in this situation? She clearly got ultrasounds. She clearly got blood work. So, for them to say that she received no prenatal care just so they could kind of whitewash her as being a scuzzy little drug addict that crawled out of some sewer and decided to pop out a baby at the hospital out of the blue. That's the impression that they leave in their medical files, people, to cover their fucking... I don't think this lawyer will ever be able to prove that they set Shamay up to have a purposeful birth injury just so they could fill their slot with their at-home program and hip surveillance program that somehow connected to fucking Holland under some research study umbrella. Okay? That's not what we're there for. But when you go through down the rabbit hole, it's not that hard to see what happened, considering how they treated Shamay. But I'm left with the consequences. So every time I go to these appointments, or I'm in contact with any of these individuals, it doesn't matter which one. It really doesn't. I just, it's like a fucking witch hunt. I'd like to see you do a better job. Give up your life fucking 24/7. Like, literally, whatever it is that you are doing today, you better damn well just freaking stop and give up your fucking life. How about that? And then you do that for a few years, and then come back and talk to me and see if you'd like to be approached. Forget the treat, but being approached, right? Every 6 months. And it's not just one group, it's multiple groups, which leaves me on this, and I'm not going to carry on with this because we know this is for educational purposes, right? I did ask them if I could record this, right? I told them that, you know, I mean, I didn't have to ask. I could have came in with something small and just recorded it, but I wasn't doing it because I was paranoid or, you know, or anything. I just wanted to have it on hand. And I was thinking about maybe doing this, and they just, you know, and one walked out, said, okay, do whatever. The other one said they were fine. And we just went about now, being that we were recorded, you know, were they guarded? Well, I wouldn't necessarily say so, people. If I wouldn't have done the recording, I'm pretty sure I would have gotten the same persona. Because I've already been there with these women. It's the fact of the pressure that the government, puts on everybody, puts on them, puts on me, as the care, right? Just whatever, like, I don't know. Either or, they knew I was recording it. They know I do videos, right? I want people to really be aware that for caregivers, it's rough. Because we're always under scrutiny. We're expected to create miracles where miracles can't be made. We're always afraid that we're never going to measure up to these individuals because you don't know which one is going to come out and... Because you're dealing with a whole group. You got a group of individuals over here. That was the feeding quote-on team. Then you've got the hip doctor with this over in something at right. That's the children's hospital. He went in March to the children's hospital. Now this time around, I'm telling you, people, I know Amari. His memory is actually quite good. When he went in March to the children's hospital with Tisha, he went to the hip doctor, the dentist, and the children's Sunny Hill Children's Center, to which they fitted him for braces. Now, you have to remember, these are grown adults who don't know Amari, who are on a time schedule to do a task, and basically want to just do it for as fast as they can and as best as they can so they can go on to the next appointment. Whereas along comes Amari, you know, he's taken out of his world. He's put into an environment he's now starting to realize isn't necessarily friendly to him, people. And I mean it in the way that, okay, Amari goes to the hip doctor. Now you've got some student that's learning how to measure hips with a ruler where, you know, they take and they start spreading him. They're doing this, they're doing that, they're doing and that hurts him because that's not something that he normally does. For all I know, they could be pulling out his joints. I'd never freaking know, but I know that it disturbs him because, you know, he comes home and right? I mean, you go about your day after day after day after day, and then go to some appointment where you got 3 people standing over you that you don't know from fucking Adam, and they just start spreading your legs and doing this and doing that and doing this and doing that and doing this, right? You tell me how the hell you would feel, okay? And that's on a good day. What if you had hip problems and all of a sudden, okay, don't tell me Amari doesn't remember these experiences, because he does. Same thing with that Sunny Hill when they made the braces. They have to stretch them out like this, whatever it is, padding that they use, right? It's all hot. They put on this hot thing, right, that molds, and then they take that, okay, so you don't tell me he doesn't fucking remember, okay? Because I think in part, one of the reasons Amari was so fussy with these women when we went to this appointment, because it's triggering memories in him, people, of the trauma that he comes into contact when he's going to the children's hospital for his 6 months routine checkup with this group, and this group. And then they'll throw in another fucking group as they want you to go back and see that group, and then they send you to the pediatrician. And then it might be the eye doctor. Do you see? You're dealing with 20 fucking different people here, if not more. With half of them manhandling him every 6 months. With multiple occurrences. Of course that's going to make him, he knows, he knows, but is this what this is for? So that he forgets? So that they can continue to do what they're doing without him squawking too much? I'm just saying. So, he was fussy. He didn't want to lay down on the mat. As soon as he lay down on the mat with Karen, and Karen, you know, like, she good, right? But no, he didn't want to, because I'm thinking he's having flashbacks of what happened at the children's hospital, because he's aware, right? You see, that's the thing. He's aware. And then when they wanted me to lay him on the table so they could, you know, stretch him out and measure him, as soon as he got on the table, that was it. He was starting to fuss. And then when they were done doing whatever, you'll hear it, done doing whatever they were doing, right? I went to go pick him up, and he gave Karen shit. Like, he literally gave her shit. We all picked up on it. And he did that before, the last time we were there, when they did a little leg splint thing that they were doing. They were doing that hot thing on him, and then doing this, and doing that, spreading his this, spreading that. And then after they were all said and done, he, right? Because he doesn't like it, people. But I'm obligated. It's not like I have a choice. I am obligated, because the minute that I don't follow through on these appointments with regularity, that's not to say you can't cancel out one here, one there, for whatever reason, but if I was to drop off the grid, oh my God. Oh my God. And the battle isn't even over yet, people. Because I told Dr. Ramesh when I was on the phone with him that I think I'm going to lean more towards Botox because this is not, right? And he goes, oh, well, I think he needs both. Okay, so what? Am I now looking to go find another pediatrician because I'm in battle axe with this one? Because I don't want Amari turning into a vegetable to appease everybody else as they're manhandling him and doing what they want with him? I'm just saying. But yet I'm the one holding the fucking bag and trying to correct the wrongs of everybody else in terms of whatever else is going on, in terms of, you know, but I guess he'll be, so it won't really matter, right? What they do to him. I don't know, people. I haven't gotten there yet. I just know that whatever the government created is wrong. They definitely got my family into a slave state situation. That's the way I see it. And being that I feel that Amari was set up to be injured at the time of his birth just so that they can sign him up to this fucking program that they got us on for their research at the end of the day, that's connected to some foreign country, Holland and wherever else, at the end of the day. Not to mention that if he dies, it's no loss to them, because if anything, it's a profit, because now they've got organs to fucking wheel and deal with, whether they do it legally or illegally, right? They win, we don't. Oh, I gotta go check on him. I forgot about you. You got tired. You got quiet. What are you doing? Okay, good. So I don't know, people. From the very beginning, I've had to hear that my daughter Shamay was a drug addict and that it's all her fault Amari is the way that he is. From professional people that like to just pick out certain information in mounds of fucking paper as if they know exactly what they're talking about. Just like that dirty cop that came in here and out of all that paper took 3 fucking pieces of paper, and it says right here that Shamay was depressed and therefore she committed suicide with fentanyl. That's what she wanted to do at 8 o'clock in the morning with everybody sitting up in the house after she just looked after the baby, right, waiting for her sister to come so that she could go get a little bit of rest because she was being responsible, doing the right thing by her child. Yeah, she just wanted to get up from looking after Amari like that in terms of, you know, she was with him all night, awake with the cold, right? And then Julian fucking showed up out of nowhere because his mother's house got robbed and he needed to hide out. Yeah, so he was bugging Shamay. So Shamay moved out into Tisha's room. And Tisha showed up an hour later, and then they talked for an hour. I heard them, people. Then Shamay said, I'm tired. I want to go in the living room and go to sleep for a little while. Well, Julian's fucking sleeping in Shamay's bed. But he wasn't sleeping. He was plotting and scheming how to finish the job, people, in terms of killing Shamay. And he did. Because it says right here in her medical files that he thought Amari was his baby. Not Shamay's baby, but his baby. Anyway, I think the reason Amari was so fussy wasn't with the fact that the situation itself was disturbing to him, as he remembers being manhandled by these types of situations, to which, depending on how he's being manhandled, hurts him. He didn't want to be on the table. So what does that tell you?
What's Nana doing? What's your Nana doing?
And you have to remember, the stronger he gets, I mean, the bigger he gets. The bigger he gets, the stronger he gets, which is going to make it more unmanageable when they want to do things to him and he acts out. Whereas if I put him on that medication, it just makes it easy for them, people. Okay? It doesn't make it easier on us. It doesn't make it better for Amari. At the end of the day, it just makes it easier on that program.
Oh, I can't imagine what's he like when he's bigger.
I just said that. I can't imagine what it's going to be like when he gets bigger.
There you go. We gotcha.
He's literally frightened, people. He's frightened because of that fucking stint that he had at the children's hospital with them x-raying him, twisting his legs, opening up his legs, doing whatever the hell it is that they freaking do, and then going off and just, oh. They were just measuring him. But it was the fact that he was there and he had all these people standing over him. Okay? I'm not the one that creates these fucking phobias, people. Yeah.
Really quick. There we go. Twinkle. Okay. Okay. They're fine. How I would do
Did you hear that? Did you hear that? Once he got into my arms. Once he got into my arms, he felt safe, he felt comfortable, and he gave her shit. Yeah. I can't protect him, people. I can't protect him from this. That's why I say this is for educational purposes. Because you never know when you're going to inherit a disabled child. You just don't know. Don't ever think that you're going to be safe because you're young or whatever, because when it hits you, it blindsides you. And then you're at the mercy of these individuals, and there's a lot of them under that umbrella. Okay? So, that's kind of why I'm gonna... Now, there's this part. The recording is quite long. I'll just put it all into one video to keep it where we got it, right? So we know, right? You don't have to go from video, click on another video. It's just from what you're getting the introduction to what you're hearing. Because, you know, it's not just simply take Amari to appointments. You have to remember, these people are under scrutiny too, right? They're expected to answer the forms in terms of chronicle order when it comes to his weight, this, length, how long it takes for him to suck on a bottle, what does he drink out of, you know, eating, whatever. But at the end of the day, like, it really doesn't solve any problems for me. No. You know, if anything, it always puts that cloud over me where it's like a gray cloud where I'm just waiting to be chopped off at the knees because I can never live up to the expectations of any of these individuals, even though not one of them does the daily grind. Like, it doesn't make any fucking sense. As 3/4 of them are running around still whispering in the halls that Shamay is the reason why Amari is the way he is, and she killed herself to cover that up because she fucking got depressed. Or, I'm sorry, no, sorry. She was depressed since 2013 when they illegally apprehended Andre. Yeah, okay. Like, you're not dealing with necessarily always honest people. They operate with an ulterior motive. Right? So, but for what it was worth, it was a good visit. I told him next time Tisha's going. Because, you know, it's a party. Everybody, their defenses are down. I come in, everybody's defenses go up, including my own. But we're all diplomatic about it. Tisha just calls it firm. Well, you go, Mom, because you're more firm. Right? Because we were debating who was going to take Amari this time. And I said, well, I honestly think it should be me. Because, you know, you haven't really been feeding him and stuff, right? You know, you've been busy, right? So, you know, they need to touch base with me. But every time I go, I'm on the defensive because I take it personal, as if I created this problem for myself. And, you know, I like being under that witch hunt fucking day after day, year after year, right? Never being able to live up to everybody's expectations, knowing that I'm expected to create a miracle out of a wrong that they don't even want to acknowledge that they created, as they're still running around accusing my daughter of something that she didn't do, or whatever, people, you know? As I'm working on memory lane yet to boot. So, okay, so I'm going to get into Shamay's medical files. That's going to take a while, depending how much I sticky tape. I don't need to sticky tape too much, because that's not the issue. That's a totally different issue, but it's important for the lawyer to see that. And if she wants to read through it and determine for herself whether Shamay was dead or not, like my family doctor had informed me of, well, at least somebody can see it, because I don't know what to look for. But Dr. Wyszynski did confirm Shamay was dead before she even left the house. So why the fuck are they putting a dead body on a fucking hospital bed for 9 days after they embalmed it? Okay? Literally. There's only one reason for that, people. It's that perfusion machine with that hammock. And then calling in the clowns to harvest the organs, to distribute them to wherever they went for a whole wad of money. And it's a syndicate, and we don't know how far and wide and deep that syndicate is. because under that umbrella that I am forced to participate in via through the public union sector, to which all are government employees, every last one of them are paid by the province of British Columbia, Canada, the Attorney General's office, the Public Safety Solicitor Attorney General's office, Sonia too, and her employer. Okay? You know, not too many of them want justice for anybody. And that's why it makes me feel that I'm always under, you know, scrutiny. And that's why I'm doing this video. Because if you ever find yourself in a situation like mine, unexpectedly, for whatever reason, you're going to go through these feelings. And you're going to get feeling overwhelmed. But you can't let it, I don't know. You can't let it break you. You know, you can't give up on your loved one. Right? It'd be very easy to turn my back. And then eventually let it become somebody else's problem. To which they'd be more than happy to take the problem, because they'll get over $3,500 a month, $3,500 a month for Amari to do this, lay him down, give him a bit of food every now and then. By then he'll just be on a feeding tube because he won't want to eat because of this, right? They'll be too afraid that he'll puke because of this, right? They don't want him active because of what we just heard in terms of poking them here, measuring them there, twisting them here. Would prefer to keep them lethargic, dizzy, sleepy. So this comes in handy, right? I'm just saying. I'm wondering if this has anything to do with snake venom. Because apparently, things that kind of make you, I guess, drowsy and just whatever, they derive these things from snake venom. I'm wondering what the core components are in terms of how they created this to make it do what it does. So, all in all, the visit was great. Well, I wouldn't say great, but it was to be expected for what it was. Right? It wasn't bad. It wasn't great. It was good. But then they knew they were being recorded. But that's not to say that if I didn't record, we wouldn't have gotten the same results. I just want people to know that it's not easy being in my position. And I suppose it's not easy being in their position from their point of view. Because, again, they're under scrutiny. Especially when they come into contact with people like me. I'm just saying. Right. It's like Tisha says, you're more firm, Mom. Yeah, okay. It's not about being firm. As it is about just being, I don't know. Okay, so that's it. Now you know why I did what I did. Okay, so we're going to listen to this before I put this video together. Because this is exactly what I'm talking about, where I always feel like I'm under a witch hunt. Okay? One way or another, if they're not using Amari, they're using Andre. Okay? I'm just saying, people. So let's just start listening. This is at the end of the video. And it's interesting because as I was listening, and then I wanted to come back and record, right? I tried to, you know, I stopped the video, right? And then I tried to move this back. Everything froze. My computer crashed. The whole 9 yards. I had to shut it off by the power bar and turn it back on. Anyway.
And friends, activities.
Okay, this is where they're asking me if I'm putting Amari in school. because he's going to be 6 years old. And this is the dietitian who is asking me. This isn't the speech therapist. This is the dietitian who's asking me. Because I've got like 3 women in this room. Sometimes as many as 5. There was another one that left the room. But basically there's 3 women. And the one that's asking the question right now is the dietitian. If I'm putting Amari in school.
He's happy. Andre's with him.
Let's just go back a little bit. Hopefully the computer won't crash.
Or is he starting school?
Yeah. Is he starting school?
Okay. No. Okay, he's not stressing out with that. Okay. Just keep him at home.
Obviously she didn't like that. Okay. You heard that, right? You heard that, people. Because I don't live up to their expectations. I don't jump through every hoop that they put in front of me, right? Okay? Because I'm not getting it just from one. I'm getting it from a multiple of 20 or more. And they work in groups. And they travel in teams. And they all intercommunicate between their files. Okay?
Only that's, he's happy. Andre's with him, right? I'll have to figure something out. I mean, I don't know what you guys expect from him in school.
So now I'm on the defensive. I'm having to justify myself here. This is why I do this kind of stuff, people. Because this is what parents and caregivers are up against when you inherit, however you inherit, a disabled child. Okay?
What socialization, friends, activities.
So now she's justifying school, and that's usually their standard. Socialization, friends, and activities. Yes, socialization, but he's going to be manhandled by individuals throughout the day that aren't necessarily going to be as smooth about the way they move him from spot to spot to spot, to which could very well injure him, right? Provoke injury, just whatever, anything could happen. Okay, that's one example. Plus, you don't know when another stranger is going to come up in front of him. I mean, he's going to be among a noisy environment with a bunch of people running around, kids looking at him because they want him. They want him in school so they can expose him to other kids, so that other kids can learn themselves how not to tease children like Amari. They don't come out and say that, but it's true. Okay? Right? And if he wants to come home, he can't, because he's on their schedule. I'd have to wait for them to bring him back to me. I don't know what I'm going to get. And then, of course, I'm going to have to deal with the consequences, like when Julian's mom was picking up Amari, and then Amari would come back, and he'd be crying, and wouldn't stop fucking crying. Or he'd be sleeping, and he wouldn't stop, he wouldn't wake up. Or his belly was so fucking full that he was ready to puke and scared the shit out of me, and I thought for sure it was going to explode. Or he creates a freaking bath phobia, where I couldn't even get him in anywhere near a freaking bathtub, and it took me years to break him from that fucking phobia. Okay? And that was all the result of being ordered by the court to hand over Amari to those individuals, as they were just whatever, people. It's the same situation. Right? Okay? But at the same time, they're wanting me to give him this 2 times a day to make him docile. To make him docile. So he doesn't fight back and react to that shit. So they can just continue to do what they want. Right? I'm just saying. Okay?
It's okay, Judy. We've talked about it.
And then you heard her. That's Karen. Okay? Okay, Judy. You heard it in her tone. Okay, Judy. Right? Getting combative. Okay? Because, right, I'm not agreeing to their whatever, they're promoting institutional childcare here. right? Put him in school and we'll look after him. Don't worry. He'll get lots of socialization. Well, he gets it already at home. Tisha comes by twice a week with the kids. I'm going to be babysitting for all day on Thursday. Tisha's kids and Malachi. That's 3 little ones bouncing around for 8 hours, 7 hours, 6 hours, or whatever it's going to be. Okay? I'm just saying, right? And then Tisha's going to come back a few days later and help me with the honey if I haven't done it by then. And then that's more kids, right? I'm just saying, okay?
You know what's available, you know when and if you decide.
You know what's available when and if you decide, right? But you know they're not happy with it, people, okay? Because he's under that research study. He's under a government program that ultimately I don't have a choice in regards to where's the private care? Where do I have the option? No, there's not even no option. That's why never mind.
His cousins come by.
So now I'm having to justify myself because I'm on that witch hunt. Okay? I feel like I'm under a witch hunt.
2 times a week.
And they're ready to string me up and set me on fucking fire here for whatever reason.
I babysit the kids.
Yeah, that's great.
So he's very good with Alea May and little Kyrie.
Oh, I can't wait to see pictures. So
Yeah.
How great is Andre?
And then we've got somebody else in there, I don't know who that was, piping in, going in for the attack. Do you see how it's working here? What grade is Andre in? We're not even talking about Andre, okay? We're talking about socialization with Amari, right? And then they got to go in for, you know, because they know I'm fucking scared, people. They know I'm fucking nervous, right? They know that my eyesight's compromised, right? They know that Amari represents big money, okay? Let's face it, he represents big money, right? He represents research study money. He represents gainful employment for them. I don't know. He represents all kinds of crazy crap for these people as a collective under that umbrella, people. But not one of them will stand up for justice for Shamay. Not one. If anything, 3/4 of them are still running around in the fucking halls saying that Shamay is the one that did this to Amari. And that because of her guilt, somehow she killed herself because she was so depressed in 2013. Just magically just decided to be depressed. Yeah, okay. Yeah, okay. Let's carry on. But now they're going in for the attack, right? It's that, right? One here, one there, one here, right?
And then Tisha's gonna probably pick up with this childcare.
So I'm still talking on about Amari here, but we've already got the question, well, what grade is Andre in? Okay? We're talking about Amari. I'm there for Amari. We're supposed to be talking about Amari. Okay? I'm on the defense, right? Clearly I heard what that woman said, but I was in mid-sentence when she asked me because I'm having to explain myself, right? I have to justify my reasoning, right? Hold on. Okay, so let's just listen to them more.
Take her to her house, take him to her house. And then there's even more kids, so that socialization part is really covered.
Sorry, what grade would Andre be in?
So there you go again. Do you see that? We're still talking about Amari, right? And then and then she comes in and she's curt. She's curt. What grade is Amari in? What grade is Andre in? Do you see when I say I feel like I'm coming into contact with a whole bunch of fucking social workers that are ready to hang me up on a fucking cross and set me on fucking fire, people? Okay? Literally, this is the stuff that I feel. Am I going through it? Is it my imagination station? Or are my feelings legitimate? Because as I'm listening to this, I am getting mad, right? Because it's provoking the feelings of fight or flight. And we know if you fight, they gang up on you and that's it. You're toast. You're fucking toast. Okay? Seriously. If they want to fucking take you out, right? They'll take you out. It's not that hard for them to take you out. Because no matter what they do, it's okay. They can do whatever they want. That's what my videos have shown you. As a public union sector, through their legislations, even though they don't follow their own fucking rules and guidelines and mandates and all this other shit when it's convenient for them, but when they want to pull in their cards, oh my God, that's it. You're toast. You're done. You're done.
Is he reading and doing math?
See? She's provoking it. Is he reading? Is he doing math? Right? Like, we're not there for Andre. Why are you asking? You should be happy that Andre's good with Amari, right? You should be satisfied that Tisha comes around and comes with the kids so Amari gets his socialization, right? You should be happy that Amari is alert, active, right? Strong, communicative, right? Clearly he communicated throughout the whole process. He let you know when he was happy. He let you know when he was mad. He let you know when he was sad, right? Right? He let you know when he was feeling safe and comfortable and content, right? Right? But that wasn't the fucking mission here, right? I'm there for feeding, people. I'm there for feeding, not to be drilled about what Andre is doing in school, okay? Because they're asking me if I'm going to put Amari in school so that all their friends, their co-workers, can start manhandling him like the good old days when I had to pass him over to fucking Julian's mom and let those people manhandle him, and then drop him off at home, and let me deal with those consequences. And then if he starts acting out, and starts developing behavioral problems, then they're going to come back with more of their medication, and tell me to drug him up, because they can't fucking deal with him in school, even though they're the ones that created the problem. And before they would acknowledge that, they'll find another way to fucking sideblind me, and start... well, let's carry on.
Well, he's starting to read. Andre has a learning disability.
So what? You heard that? What, you don't believe in such a thing as called a learning disability? Right? Just because it was easy for you, everybody else should be like you and go on your time schedule? Like, right? Even though when Shamay was in school in grade 12, she was grading papers with the teacher, and 60% of the class couldn't even fucking read and write English, people, and they were in grade 12, and the teacher was expected to pass them anyway. And if Shamay was alive, she'd tell you that, because she told me.
But he's now starting to read.
Good.
So,
Excellent.
but he still struggles with it.
Yeah.
He doesn't like it. But my son...
Yeah, putting me on the spot, making me feel insecure, making me feel inadequate, making me feel like I'm a fucking shithead, or some kind of fucking something. Something that's inadequate, most definitely, by their standards, right? Some looking for a weakness so that they can swoop in when they want, whether it's a singular fucking social worker or whether it's a whole group of them, because you don't know when they're going to come fucking do that shit, like that paramedic, right? Seriously, you go to the hospital, you're being chased around by whoever, you don't even know you're being fucking chased around, and you're under scrutiny, right? In terms of, right, well, the social worker's looking for you. Yeah, okay. What social worker? What are you talking about? Right? Amari just had a seizure, right? What the fuck did I do? Nothing. I've been picking up the broken fucking pieces. That's what I've been doing, people. Okay? I've given up my life for their mistake, people.
His girlfriend spent a fair amount of time with him. Now, mind you, I spent years with him. His uncle spent years with him.
Listen, Andre is not coming into contact with fucking drugs at school. Andre is not being forced to take drugs at school because he has a learning disability, and that's how the school system likes to deal with kids like Andre in order to get him to focus. Okay? Andre is learning that his brain is important and that he needs to preserve it and not pollute it with things. If I put him in the school system, I can almost guarantee you, because of his situation overall, right, he will be an easy child to manipulate towards that direction. Hold on. Okay, that was Buzz Honey. My honey. They've been holding my honey for like 3 months. I bought it 3 months ago. 30 kg. I've washed some jars. I'm ready to go. So he's going to drop it off for me. So the next video will be going into honey. I will do the honey video. So anyway, I don't even know what I was talking about because I'm so mad now. Right? Like this, like, you know, and of course I have to compose myself and ignore what's going on because I'm on the ball with it, but it's not like I can react to it to any degree, right? But whether these people realize what they're doing or they're just so conditioned to be this way and act this way and think this way, or I don't know, people. I just know that this is the stuff that I have to deal with.
And then she started to spend time with him, and it all just kind of came together. So he's kind of at that point where he's now starting. Yeah, to some degree, but not every kid is. What is this? This is not mine.
No, that's Trisha's, I think. Here we go, Trisha.
I'll leave that with you.
Yeah, I'll call. I'll ask tomorrow and see how to best do it.
I've got my follow-up coming, G, and I have to spray, so I know.
Right. You just need to.
So, and I know you're
Oh,
sensitive.
not you. You're sensitive.
Smell, so you better get out.
My nose is
And don't forget your
I
video.
cough every time I spray that
Oh,
stuff.
oh yeah, right.
So, not to push you out, but I got a spray.
So the spraying was after you leave, they take a spray bottle and a rag and they spray everything that you touched, including the chair that you sat on. Do you know how humiliating that is? You just go into their environment and touch all their shit, and they touch Amari and whatever, and touch this and touch that. But, you know, after you leave, they spray down everything like you're contaminated with something. But, of course, they're not. Like when Amari went to the children's hospital, Tisha took him to that appointment, right? And by the time he got home, within 2 days, he had a bad cold. I'm just saying. He didn't have a cold until he went there. Okay? But that's life. I don't complain, but that's what the government makes them do, right? But you've seen how that ended in terms of that witch hunt, right? So you're always walking on pins and needles, you know, like seriously, like you can't live up to their expectations. And even if you were to give them everything that they wanted the way they wanted it in terms of putting Amari in school and, you know, and letting them do what they want, and then they come and just drop off whatever problems that they created, and then I have to deal with those problems. Then, of course, the problems get bigger because he gets bigger or whatever, and then, you know, the solution always ends up being something like this, right? You know, and as they're still finding another means to like, right? I wasn't there for Andre, talking about Andre. We were in the middle of talking about Amari. I don't know, people. My life has been ruined. Yeah. The world is a bad place. It really is. Whatever I thought about the world years and years ago is completely untrue. We live in a delusional reality. Okay? And the more that we allow our government and their employees to injure us without at least trying to hold them to account, like when it comes to the birth injury of Amari, the more the trickle out crowd under that umbrella can continue to perpetrate that process. Right? I went there in good faith. It's not like they give me meal alternatives in terms of they should be offering me the recipes versus me offering them the recipes to solve the problem, right? In terms of, but they're required to solve the problem with their supplemental drinks. Anything else is insignificant outside of maybe a future feeding tube if the doctor, whatever doctor or whoever within that umbrella feel like Amari's not getting enough nutrients, right? If he wasn't getting enough nutrients, he'd be lethargic, he'd be listless, just the whole 9 yards. He's way too active and strong to say otherwise. He's definitely verbal and communicative. Maybe not in the wordy kind of way, but definitely through his behavior and the different sounds that he creates under those different circumstances. So they can't say that he's not alert, aware, communicating, or whatever, because he even gave that one woman shit for making him lay down on that table so that they could measure him, because that was the whole purpose of it. That was easy peasy. But when they come and they start spreading his legs open and bending this and bending that and doing this and doing that, what do you think that does? It creates that fucking phobia. And we just witnessed that he's starting to develop it, because he knows that as soon as he lays down on those tables, what happens? If they're not poking fucking needles into his arms, because, you know, they did that when they wanted to determine what was wrong with him, even though they knew, right? With the first time they did the MRI that they botched, then they gave him another MRI, right? And then, you know, through that was a series of blood tests or whatever. You know, they keep giving him these whatever. They keep doing this. They keep giving him fucking x-rays every 6 months on his hips, twisting him here, twisting him there. You know, he's beyond memory. He sees the table. He knows. He knows. He knows. Which makes me suspicious, people. Why do you want a child to be dopey, dizzy, lethargic, vomiting, nauseated, maybe have more seizures, just so that you can control his movement and say that you're helping his tone? It doesn't, for me, no. Listen, he moves around all day long doing whatever the hell he wants to do, and not once does he ever cry out in pain. So he's got a system going down, okay, in terms of his, like, his legs or whatever. Like, he knows what to do, right? If it was painful for him, he wouldn't be a freaking, what is that called, an acrobatic all day long, moving himself around to the degree that he does, if it was that painful. But once they start grabbing his legs and they pulling here and they're doing this and they're doing that and they're going like this, like literally spreading his legs open and just doing whatever, that creates issue. Then the pain comes. For all I know, they could go and his freaking joint will pop out. But of course they'd never tell you that, though. You see, that's the thing. They'd never tell you that's why it happened. Nope. Nope. They'll just say, it's time to cut him open. It's time to do that hip surgery. Yeah. Anyway, that's kind of why I send in Tisha more often. She can cope with that stuff better than I can. I'm too sensitive for it. Because I can hear. I know. I've been through it so many times under different circumstances that it's hard for me not to take it personal. I guess that's what's happening here. I take it personal. Right? Well, you're supposed to take it personal, though. They want you to be afraid. They want you to be scared. That's that fucking loosh harvesting again. They want to control you. They don't want you to have control of your life or the ones around you in terms of your family. They want to import themselves, and then eventually they just pluck that one out. That's what they do, people. I'm not saying that's what these women do, but you know, like, why are you going on the attack with Andre? Like, I mean, I can hear the different tones in their voices, and You know, like, they're just because somebody is saying something doesn't mean that they're not thinking something else. Anyway, I got the honey coming, so next video will be honey. And yet, okay, I'll just put it this way, right? Sure. We haven't put the paperwork in yet, but she's just like, you know, bugging me now to do it, so that's good. Right? She's bugging me to, because...
For childcare, so he'll go to daycare.
No,
Is that what you're
she'll do
thinking?
2 days a week.
Okay.
Start with 2 full days.
Yeah,
You know, take them.
Yeah.
Right? And then, well, 3, really.
3.
Yeah, three days a week, right? That's what we're gonna put down.
Okay.
Between traveling time, sleepover and everything, right? And then, you know, we'll just play it by ear, see how it goes. And then if he goes like for surgery, which we look like they're pushing for that, right? With the hip surgery.
Mm-hmm.
Then, you know, she either has to come to the house every day and help me with the care, right?
Yeah.
The seeing part, even though Andre's there. Andre's really good,
Yeah, but he's still a child, so
Well, yeah, of course.
Yeah.
right? Or she's gonna take him for the first little while. So it's still like a ways.
Yeah,
to go.
so you've
We're
got a plan sort of in place that she'll look after him starting 3 days a week, is that right?
Yeah.
And when, do you have any idea when that would be starting?
when she's up for it, I
Okay.
don't push it on her because it's,
Okay.
you know, she's bugging me now though to fill out the child care form, so I've been bugging her and now she's bugging me, so that's good.
How old is her second kid?
1.
It's been a year.
Yeah,
What's the name?
Kyrie. Oh, he's so cute.
What?
Yeah. He's so cute.
I'll put this.
So cute.
Do you want some bubbles?
He probably does. Well, he doesn't know what that is, so I don't know if that would make much of a difference.
Let's see.
Oh.
These are bubbles.
So anyway. What is that? Are those bubbles? Okay, so who's here? You
So
are.
I'm Andrea, I'm a speech language pathologist
Okay.
on this eating skills team, and I do a similar job as Karen does, so we work together as a team.
Okay.
And then Trisha's the dietitian.
Okay.
You know Trisha, I think, yeah.
Well,
So, yeah.
and I don't come here regularly. I mean, last time I was here was a while ago.
Yeah,
So
so-
6 months.
yeah.
You wanted 6 months.
Has
Yeah.
it been 6 months?
Yeah.
Yeah,
Oh,
so
geez, it
Trisha will
feels
want to
longer
weigh
than
and
6
measure
months.
him today.
Feels longer than 6 months. Are you
Let's
sure? It just feels longer than 6 months.
might
We
be
last
right.
saw you in
Was it
October.
Yeah, I was gonna
November,
say-
December,
9
January,
months.
February, March,
Huh?
April, May.
9 months.
9 months,
Yeah.
yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, 9 months.
Yeah, so it's
So
been
how
a little
is
bit
he?
longer.
He's fine.
Yeah.
He's strong.
It's awesome.
Speaking of that, where's that bag? That green bag.
Green bag is here. Is this your bag? Yeah.
Can I?
Yeah.
Okay.
Go.
They gave him these leg braces, but he broke them. Guess how strong he is.
Do you need any help? Just tell
No.
me.
Okay. I deal with him every day. He's my.
You got long
Okay.
arms, little monkey.
Well, obviously this is the one, right? This one here, I have to do a lot of this,
Yeah.
right? Because.
Hi,
Okay, we're not doing that right
You don't
now.
like it.
Okay. Yeah.
Yes, buddy.
Yeah. Oh my lord. Okay, we've got 2 things in here. The food, we'll take that out, and then those things,
Yep.
I'm gonna leave them with you,
Okay.
and please maybe try and get them repaired. That's what Amari did, that's how strong he is. We had him on like 2 days ago,
Yeah.
and he just did that.
Oh, he broke this thing.
I don't know, he broke something.
Okay.
So, I mean, I'm sure.
But who would have made those then? Those
Oh,
are-
that came from the Sunny Hills Children's.
Oh.
Yeah.
Yeah, so, but he's really strong though, and he's very active. Okay, so that's not, it's not nothing to do with flaw of, I don't think with that, as it is that he's that strong. All right? So maybe they have to put a little extra brace or something. Although, when he wears them, Tisha noticed with her eagle eyes, down in here, can you see? Down in here, when he wears those things, in here and here, they're marking him up a bit, but he doesn't complain.
Like there's redness? Redness? Like are there like kind of...
Well, she thought it was a diaper rash, looking like a diaper rash, and I'm like, well, explain to me what you can see. And she said they're just two lines, like, and I'm like, no. It has to do with that, and I don't put him on at night because he likes to move around, right?
Okay.
So I put him on during the day.
Yeah.
And he's pretty copacetic for about 4 to 6 hours. So, you know, but obviously, you know, he wants to move.
Yeah.
So, you know, he busted him up. But she noticed that, right? But it never irritated him.
Right.
Like he never didn't seem to bother him, and it wasn't broken
He was wearing
skin.
those at night.
I think so,
Yeah.
What's that?
So he was wearing it at night
No.
before it broke.
No, I don't put him on him at
Oh, you
Just
put him
during the
only
day.
on,
Yeah,
just during
okay.
the day?
Yeah,
Okay.
during the day, right? And
Yeah. Okay.
right, you'd be copacetic with it, right?
Yeah. I will double check with Tamara because that's her kind of expertise with this part. I don't know if if it's something we can fix here or if we have to somehow send it back to Children's to get it sort
Can
of
I leave them with
redone
you?
there. You can leave them with me for now.
Versus sending
Yep,
Tisha all
yep,
the way.
I will keep them. Yeah, I'll keep them for now, and then I'll
Okay.
figure out what's our next step for it.
Okay.
Okay?
Yeah.
Okay.
Oh, and since we're talking about that kind of department, all right, we'll talk about this tone stuff here, which I'm not going to use, and I'll tell you why. And where is it?
Just let us know if you want us to do anything.
Oh, he's okay.
Okay.
This is it's big. It's all good. We got a system. It's just he's more active and more determined to do things. That's all. He's like, like just a normal kid, right? Only he's limited to things. That's all. Okay, so who's taking notes here?
Well,
You are?
Let's see.
We all like.
So it's back open, I'm sure. Yeah. back
Okay.
open.
Yeah.
So now I'm not going to be giving this to him. Okay.
Okay.
This was prescribed from the people at the Children's Hospital.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
From my understanding, for tone.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
However, the side effects that Tisha came home and told me about were dizziness and sleepiness.
Okay.
But when I Googled it, read up on it, it's a lot more than that.
Okay.
There's nausea, vomiting, seizures can develop from it. There's other complications. And being that I'm here with the feeding team today, right? And ever since Amari had his drinks changed from the last time I seen you guys, or whenever it was, and then he had that seizure.
Yep.
Okay, because I can't really pinpoint it if it was the change of the drinks or what, but something triggered the seizure. And from the seizure, I'm talking about the very first time he had the seizure, right?
Okay.
Where they had him sedated for 24 hours
Right.
or whatever it was. Anyway, okay. Anyway, his eating changed. He used to eat everything and anything. I used to be able to smash it up with a fork, cut it up really good. Now I have to literally, basically puree everything.
Okay.
And some days he'll eat something, where other days, like, okay, I can give him yogurt today, he'll eat it, no problem. Tomorrow I'll give him yogurt and he won't want it. Or whatever. So, it's like frightening when they start vomiting, and you don't know, like, you just, like, you'd have to be watching him literally 24/7. So I find this to be dangerous, honestly, okay? That's my opinion on this. So myself, I'm going to try and do more, I guess you can say, therapeutic massage with, I don't want to say essential oils so much because you have to be very careful the amount of essential oils that you use in your massage oil. But I'm gonna lean more towards that type of physiotherapy versus a medication that could potentially create bigger problems. And if it creates nausea on top of dizziness and sleepiness, and I'm already having issues with him eating, you know, right? In terms of like the good old days.
So,
huh?
yeah, so when you're saying that you have now been needing to carry everything, do you want to tell us a little bit what you're giving him?
Okay, well, it's a hit and miss. He really likes those drinks, okay? So sometimes I just rely on those drinks. Can I put you back in here?
Or we can put him on the mat?
Yeah, sure.
Okay.
Does he want to play?
You can try it. Sure. Yeah, okay. There you go. There. Let's see what you're gonna do. There you go, kiddo. Find your weight. Okay, so what was the question?
Tell us what he's eating, and you're saying he likes to have some of those drinks.
Okay, the drinks. Where's that food? Hey, these drinks.
Can I come up? Sit up. We're doing like
Something about them changed. It's unusual for him, so maybe just no, leave him. I'll come to him. Just maybe step back.
okay.
He's scaring him, right? That's probably what it is. Okay?
Sorry, buddy.
Yeah, just it's okay. No. I don't want to stress him out.
That's okay.
No,
You do
he
what
was
you need
gonna.
to do.
I gave him a sponge bath this morning. I gave him a sponge bath this morning, and he was a bit fussy.
Okay.
So don't take it right personal. Okay. I mean, he hasn't been here for a long time either.
That's right.
So okay. And so anyway, see this? What's this? Oh, this hurt. Let's just go. All right. These things, he likes them, but for the last couple of times since I've been getting them, and I did phone the distribution center, and even Andre's noticed it. Some of them are like normal with no smell, right? And then other ones are coming out like really strong pineapple smells. And Andre says one was like really strong mango smell. So needless to say, I can smell the pineapple ones too, right? And they're not all that way, and they weren't like that before. So anyway, I phoned the distribution center a while ago, and I just informed them that that was an issue, but it's not making him sick. The only thing that I'm thinking is if it's like a lot of pineapple, which is acid, could be upsetting the stomach. But then, you remember those red ones that you used to give me, the kids' essentials?
Yep.
Okay, I had a whole box still left of those. So every now and then I give them one of those because I have to be careful with those ones because those ones will constipate them. Do you have a tissue? I'm allergic to things. Like aerosols, disinfectant, hand sanitizers, just whatever, right? That's 12 years of yard work. My son went outside in the yard. He put my plastic back up on my greenhouse. And then we were out there talking and his nose started running snot. And it just made me think of me, and I thought, well, I'm not the only one that happens to when you're out there in that backyard.
Yeah.
And it was dripping, and I'm like, just go, get on with working, right? 'Cause
Yeah, it's allergy time of year.
yeah,
This
so,
year.
okay. All right, so I informed them, I'm just letting you know, he drinks the majority of them. Sometimes he's just not wanting it, right? Whether he's maybe not hungry, or I don't know, just whatever.
In a day, how many does it take?
4 to 5, depending.
Wow,
4 to 5. We'll put it between 3 and 4, or 3 and 5. We'll put between 3 and 5, depending how much bottles, because I've been trying to give him more milk now, right? Just a little bit more milk. I mean, I can't force him to drink these things. I tried giving him 2 bottles at one time, because he drank one so fast, and you know, he's maybe not eating enough food, so I'm like, okay, well, I know you guys wouldn't care if I gave him another bottle, right? He gave me 7 cases for 1 month, like, come on. So sometimes he'll drink 2 bottles, and then other times he won't. Sometimes we give him a bottle, and he'll only drink that much. So, you know, it's like a hit and miss with him, but he's, you can see he's active, like he's full of energy all day, all night. He's strong, and, but the food part, I don't know. Ever since he had that seizure, you know, something changed. I don't know if it was this that changed things, and he's just lazy.
So when you're saying things changed, do you mean that when you had given him what he was taking in the past, or not the pureed blended, like just more softer, you were cutting up to
Well,
smaller
some of the
pieces?
things were pureed and stuff,
Okay.
but well, no, his appetite was better.
Okay, so you find like he just doesn't want it, like he would just kind of turn his head away. He's not as wanting to eat as much as you found before his seizure.
Yeah, he used to eat everything.
Yeah.
Right? And I don't know if this triggered the,
So
I don't know if he
appetite-
got comfortable with just this, in terms of, right? Because, you know, like, right?
So
But
his
then-
appetite was better. And what about flavors? Is he more picky with flavors now?
That can change.
Okay.
I can give him potatoes, mashed potatoes with gravy,
So he's
and
maybe
whatever
a little bit more,
today,
Yeah.
and then tomorrow give him the same thing, and he's,
So he's a little bit more inconsistent now.
yeah,
Yeah, and he
Yeah.
does best with this or things that are pureed.
yes.
Yeah.
And that's why I'm here, because Tisha wouldn't know these things.
Mm.
Right, so, you know, I just thought you guys would really want to touch base with me on this kind of stuff.
Yeah.
So, but all in all though, like, you know, he's, like, if I felt that he wasn't thriving and wasn't,
Giving it to him.
right, I'd be on the phone. Well, I'd be getting Tisha to call you guys.
Yeah.
You know, we'd be like, yeah, come on, like, there's some issues. But now, I know, like, this is not important, but let's just say I'm at the end of my food prep. We know I've been doing that for how many years now? Okay. Well, I'm at the end of it now, so I'm finishing up with the honey, which
Okay.
Tisha's dipping into. Do I get some too, Mom? No, Mom? I said, yeah. So, you know, once I get my last little bit all put away and just push out everything out of the kitchen, like I got buckets still and just a few jars, and I've got to do the honey. But once that's all out, I've got all the little mixers. You know, I got the little bullets, and I've got the ninja
Like a
freaking
blender?
everything
Yeah,
to make
yeah.
food,
Variety
ice
of
cream,
blenders, yeah.
showers, and
Yeah.
just grind up nuts. We know we're going to be getting into the real breads with the real wheats, and I'm going to be doing all kinds of stuff. So of course I'm going to be experimenting. That's what I'm trying to say. I'm really going to try and hone in on, well, you know, if I can just, I don't know, like, I have to make him a cookbook before he goes really to the next caregiver. Yeah. I mean, I'll still always be around,
Yeah.
right? If I go completely blind, my wish is that I keep him company and he keeps me company.
Yeah.
But when it comes to the cooking and all that, you know, there needs
Yeah.
to be something
Someone
in
else,
writing,
yeah.
right?
Yeah.
That, you know, kind of works, and you know, if that one, the recipe doesn't work, then you can go to this recipe. And so I will be, in the next 6 months, definitely getting hardcore on that, because there is no more 50 pounds of this and 75 pounds of that, and then having to put it away. And you don't even know how many thousands of dollars I spent on that kind of stuff. in
Oh, I know
terms of
you've
food
worked
prep.
so hard for him.
Oh, now I'm blind, and now I'm at the point where I just can really kind of get into it. And I mean, I can still navigate and still do things, but it's not anything I'd wish on anybody, right? But that's okay. So basically, you know, he's a pretty happy little camper. He's very strong. He sits himself up constantly on the couch, like literally. I don't know what this doctor that wants to cut into his hip is thinking, because if he's gonna put him like this, spread eagle for 8 months to a year, it's really gonna cause psychological damage in him. But, you know, and I don't even think he can honestly sit up in that kind of a position. So we're looking probably at having more laying down in that kind of position, just because of the way his back is. But as it is right now, if I put him on the couch this way with his head over here, You walk away, you come back in 2 minutes, he's completely sat himself up, flipped himself over, and now is inching off this way with his head that way, going that way.
Right.
And like, he's already busted a rail, you know, so between Andre and I, we're constantly watching him, right? And he'll do this all day,
Yeah.
right?
You like to move.
Yeah, he likes to move.
Yes.
Can I put you back down on the floor now? Maybe if you just move off to the side a little
He's
bit.
burning lots of calories because he's a mover and a shaker. You're not
Yeah. So, you know, this is where like I said, I have all the appliances, I guess you can say.
Yeah.
I have all the appliances. I've got almost every bean that you can think of under the sun. I bought farro wheat that can make actually whey protein.
Wow.
A plant whey protein. So whether, you know, farro wheat is good for that, right? So you would be making whey. It's just, I don't know how to, I just don't really know how to blend these things together where he's gonna like it. You know, like, I'm not a smoothie maker. I don't know.
Oh, he's not liking this laying down position. What if we sit up?
Could be because he doesn't know you. Yeah, it's because he doesn't know. He's okay.
Is that new that he's more nervous with other people? Because I think he used to be sort of okay.
Yeah, well, we don't interact with a lot of people, so don't take it personally.
Yeah. No, not at all. I'm just wondering.
No, it's just we don't
Yeah.
interact with a lot of people. I mean, obviously he feels more in control here.
Yeah.
Definitely happier sitting with you.
Yeah, so
Definitely.
that's okay.
How's his pooping?
With those drinks, the completes, much better.
Good. Every day?
Well, I don't know about every day, but there's something quite often, yeah, but not, actually I wanted you to, you can tell when you push on their stomach when they constipated, right? Can one of you tell that?
Nope.
Oh, jeez.
None of us. Sorry.
Okay.
Yeah, he's gonna have to see probably Dr. Ramesh.
No. I've been dealing with him since he's a baby.
Okay.
Yeah, I gave him Peg 2 days ago just to be sure because those red drinks.
Are constipated.
Yeah, and Andre, I gave him a red drink, and then Andre the next day gave him another one without realizing that I'd already given him one because I'm just finishing off the box.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
You know, and I try and space like maybe 2 or 1 per week. Just it's either that or chuck the box out, and I can't justify chucking it out.
No.
They're perfectly fine. Yeah, exactly. And he doesn't mind them. Like he likes them as much as he likes these ones, right? But with these drinks, much better. Yeah, much better.
Good. And you're getting them from the at-home program, and you're getting your PEG from the at-home program?
Yes, but I don't use PEG very often. I hadn't
Good.
have to use
That's
PEG
wonderful.
for a long time. Only
When you
just
take
once
the
in a
red
blue
box.
moon, you know, or maybe I give him like maybe you know like something that really just maybe you know like the potatoes or something.
Sure.
Give him I don't know is potatoes constipating?
Bananas are.
He likes bananas.
Yeah. So some kids are sensitive to it.
Yeah, well, I think it's always going to be an issue off and on, isn't it?
Yeah.
You know,
So you're good with getting the PEG from the at-home program?
yeah.
Good.
I still have a full bottle. I've only gone through 1 bottle
That's
since he's
wonderful.
been born.
That's wonderful.
I try not to rely on it, right?
Good. The other question that I have is, does he need a change of diapers from the at-home program?
I don't think so. I don't know. I think these ones are fine.
Okay.
What do I know? I used to use cloth.
As long as you feel like it's not getting too tight on him or it's not fitting, sometimes you just need one of
Once he
us.
gets bigger, he's going to need a bigger size.
Well, yeah.
Do you need us to write a letter to the at-home program?
I don't know. You guys can tell me if they're too big or not big enough.
They're good. If you feel like if you put them on and they look good,
I don't know.
I think that's good.
I think they're still
Yeah.
okay. Tisha doesn't complain about them.
Okay, yep. Hi, sorry. Yes.
I still want to kind of, once I get caught up with everything, I still kind of want to use cloth diapers during the day with him, right?
Sure.
That's what I want. I've been wanting to do that. I haven't done that yet, but just, I want to. So I'm getting towards that. Eventually I will end up doing that.
Okay. And you're okay with your supplies from the at-home program?
They give me 7 boxes. I only call when I get down to the last box,
Okay.
which I can stretch it out depending on how much milk I'm giving him. We were using those red drinks. If he's, if I give him a bottle and he doesn't take it, that happens sometimes too. He just won't want it, right?
Sure.
Then of course I will just offer him milk or juice in an hour and a half or whatever. But I don't take advantage of this. They offer me 3 months supply, but that's too much. That's too much at one time to store, and I just yeah. No, oh my God, that's still. We knew that was gonna happen. Okay, so there's that. Should be fine.
That's what he drinks is.
Yeah, I
Yep.
can't get him to drink
No, I
from a
know.
cup yet. Still working on it.
So that's a standard flow.
I
Yeah,
bought all
flow.
kinds of cups.
I'm
I
excited
know,
that
you
he
try
actually
hard.
drinks that complete 1.5. Like, that's wonderful.
Why?
It's just not as yummy as other formulas.
Oh, really?
So I'm just saying that's great. I'm really happy to see that. Other kids wouldn't. So he's a star.
Oh, why is it better or
It's
just?
just not as sweet, kids.
I don't know. As we can really smell the pineapple in it though sometimes.
Yeah, I think so.
It doesn't say. But-
Is he hungry
Yeah,
first? Do you
we've
want to
written on
offer
this
him some
passage.
food?
Well, yeah, I'm gonna try and give him
We'll go with that.
the food first. I'm gonna put him in here, okay? This is what I made for him last night. Because my son cooks all the time, and that's rice. So I have to put it in a pot. Well, he has his own little frying pan. Whatever my son makes, I like, especially rice. I even if I try and grind it up. Now I am going to try and grind up dry rice, uncooked, and make a rice flour and see what that gets me when I get to that point of doing things in life. But if it comes up to me upstairs cooked, because my son's always cooking, right? And feeding Andre, and then of course we take off for a bit for Amari. Here, play with this. Look, I just brought this for convenience purposes. He doesn't always like things. He prefers mine, but because he's picky these days, right? So, we're gonna see. Now, all he had was a small bottle of milk this morning because I wanted him to be hungry.
We appreciate that.
Yeah, because last time I think we went through this, he didn't want anything. Right? So, let me see. Let's see what we can do here. Okay? I don't think he'll fall out. Yeah, it looked like it. Maybe I should take this out, something. Okay, so what this is what my son made last night. Now, he ate a fair amount of it last night, but then all of a sudden he just decides to shut down and doesn't want to eat anything. So before I get all panicky and try and force it on him and create psychological problems that way, there, let me open him out, right? I mean, eventually that could create more problems than what you're trying to solve, right? I mean, can you open that for me, please?
Oh, you want this?
Yeah, I'm gonna try that with a little bit of this.
I'm gonna put this in your little.
I can't guarantee that he'll like this. I like to make sure that it's okay, even though you just opened it. I don't necessarily trust those things. Okay.
Is that good?
Yeah, it tastes fine.
What flavor have we got?
I don't
Pear.
know.
Pear.
Oh,
Pear is yummy.
okay. So, are you hungry? Yeah? You gonna eat for now, huh? What do you think? What do you see? What do we got? I always tell him what we get. We got rice. Uncle Marquin's rice. Yeah. Carrot. There's peas in there. Yeah, there's peas. See how you're playing? No, you're not going to grab for that. And then what I have to do is obviously sometimes fight with his hand. Hey, stop it. It's a game. It's a game.
You got long
What I
arms.
do, normally I'm not on this side, I'm usually on that side. But I have to go like this. I try not to be forceful.
Yep.
Because I don't want to create issues.
Yum, Marie.
Right? And then of course, now if he has a burp, Like if I give him a drink, right, and if I come to him too soon with food, he won't eat it because he's full from the drink.
Yep.
Or if I leave enough time and try and feed him, I realize that he can't eat because there's a burp in there. So I have to give him time to burp it out. So I might just give him a little bit and then walk away, let him wet. You know, it's a cat and mouse, it's a game. And sometimes, you know, depending on what it is, and depending on his mood, he'll eat more, faster. There you go.
Oh, that was very nice.
Yeah, you know, like,
Open, you close.
you have to have a lot of patience, basically. And,
It's really nice that you tell him what he's gonna get before he gets
Oh, yeah.
it. He has an idea
yeah,
what
you got
to expect.
pears.
Yeah.
And then after we're done the bowl, I always show him the bowl that's empty and I tap it. And I always tell him he's a good boy when he's eating, you know, to show manners. Come on. You gonna show manners, Banana? Right?
He clearly loves his Nana.
Come on. Just not in the mood for it because he's what he knows, right? Okay, so anyway, this is, you know, and if he's like too argumentative and just really stubborn, doesn't want, then, you know, it's either one, he's not hungry because I'm giving it to him too soon because of the drinks, or I will just compensate what he's not getting and give him a drink,
Yeah.
right? Or milk, right? Right, or juice, right? Here, come on, you're just playing with that. So yeah, sometimes I just have to kind of like, but he's being like really just whatever right now. So.
Well, that's okay,
okay.
because he's in a new surrounding with new people.
Well, yeah, but he's kind of like this sometimes at home. But again, if I find that, you know, he's just being, because not everything that I make he likes, even though it, I've given him yogurt one day and he eats it up, no problem. I come give him the same exact yogurt the next day. You can't get him to eat it for nothing. That's just an example, right?
Judy, where do you normally have him sit at home when you're feeding him?
Well, we sit mainly on the couch. Do you think that's the problem? Because, you see, I'm scared to drop him into that wheelchair because, you know, he still gags.
Okay.
If he gags, I need to be able to pick him up,
Easier.
move him, right? Because, you know, it's like, right? That's one reason why I don't want this medication because, you know, the last thing we need is Amari puking. Like, you don't even know. Like, it's disgusting when they do that. Like, it's so frightening. And
How often do you find him gagging now? Kind of comes and goes? Not all the time, but
no, it's just, you never know.
right.
You just don't know.
Yeah, yeah.
Not very often, but it only takes that one time. Right? And you don't even know why. When I puree his food, I have to wash my hands, stick my fingers in there, make sure there's not even a tiny
So it's
little
the
piece.
lumps are what makes him gay.
I don't know.
Okay.
I don't know if it's that. I don't know. It could be maybe the taste of something. I don't know. Right? Like, it's not like he can tell me. Like, it's just frustrating.
Right.
So this is why, like, I don't know, I need to get into this freaking, what is that called? Cookbook for Amari. Okay, you see, when he's like that, I don't like to force it on him. Although, if we give
Try
it,
the bottle.
you know, if we give him the bottle, you'll see how fast he'll suck
Yeah,
that
let's try
back, because
that.
he never got one today.
Are you okay? I just
Okay,
poured it in
I
here.
just gave him a bit, huh?
You okay if I just pour it in here?
Well, yeah.
Well, I should make sure you don't want to do it.
Yeah, no,
When
no.
was the last time you saw Dr. Ramesh?
We're gonna see him in July.
Okay.
And he was he's seen everybody in, when was it? We're in March, April, May, June. So May, I think it was May? No,
We only
March.
just started, we're only at the
January,
beginning of June.
February, March. I think in March, Tisha took him to the Children's Hospital.
Okay.
And he seen the dentist. Dr. Milpuri is the hip doctor.
Yeah.
And he, went to Sunny Hill. If you look on the bottle, there
Yes,
should be a
the
prescription
date
date.
is on there, March.
Yeah, so, right, and, you know, so, yeah.
Yeah, so that was March 27th.
Okay, so that's when he went and seen all those people.
What do you need, Judy?
Just something to wrap
So we
this up.
saw the dentist, Dr. Malpuri,
Yeah,
and Sunny Hill.
yep. And then on the day for Dr. Ramesh, Amari had actually gotten a cold from that session.
Have us around.
Yeah, no, this is fine. Amari actually got a, what is that called? He got some hacking cold or something from that, right? So I canceled the appointment for Dr. Ramesh. So we did a phone call,
Okay.
and then they booked an appointment for July. Right? So you see? Be happy with that. Can I let my...
Yes. Hands. You know what, hands. Just wash this.
So now if I give him that, you're not gonna wanna eat.
Yeah.
I have to space it out,
Yeah.
right? So,
Yeah, I mean, Judy, you're good at reading his cues, right? Like
Pardon
you
me?
said, I said you're very good at reading his cues. So if he's pushing away, he's not really wanting the food, then you just revert to the trick.
yeah, and then like sometimes I said to Andre, like, you maybe try and give him another bottle and let's see if he takes 2 of them at one time. And he's done that a few times, but then sometimes he won't. So I don't necessarily rely on it, but then if I feel that I think he would do that, I'll give it to him just because,
That's great.
Great.
right? So it's all a hit and miss, right? And then, once I just do whatever I need to do.
Do you want to put, is the complete done? You can put it in the garbage.
Does this one smell? Yeah, if you smell it, it smells like a pineapple.
Smells like tropical.
Yeah, it does.
It does smell tropical, but
You want?
Sure.
maybe they all smell tropical.
Yeah.
I mean, it smells good. It smells good.
Okay. Well, yeah,
Yeah.
it's not getting sick, but we just noticed that,
You don't think they always smell like that?
no,
Interesting.
no, they don't. That's what
Maybe
made me
they-
suspicious.
Can I see the picture?
That's what made, no,
It
they're all,
definitely
yeah,
smells tropical.
Nectarine.
yeah, that's what made me concerned, right? But I know he's not getting sick.
He's doing a lot
So-
of biting on that nipple today. But
Oh, he's hard on nipples. He's so hard. Nipples are so expensive. I spent like $100 on different nipples, like sippy cups.
I know, he just
Right,
doesn't
he
want
wants
any of
the
it.
soft
You
ones,
try.
and even then, but like I said, once I finish with the tail end of my food prep, just do a little bit of backyard stuff, and clear out my kitchen a bit more, I'm gonna really just, while I can still see, right? While I can still see, just try and get those core, because honestly, I kind of want to wean them off of those, or at least half of them, and kind of create my own super drink. But I don't even know how to attempt that.
So,
Like I've got chickpeas I can use as a base, and like there's so many things I have. I just don't know how to combine it where he'd actually like it.
Yeah, we're looking at you. Yeah, we're looking at you.
So
Are you talking about you? Yeah. Yeah.
Hi.
yeah.
Hi. So, does he always have the brown nipples? You always buy that kind of nipple, the
Well,
brown ones?
the silicone ones, the clear ones, oh, those are bad. He'll go through those in a day.
Okay.
Like
Right?
you mean like he'll chew on them and he'll just break
Yeah.
them?
Yeah, those ones you have to really be careful with.
Yeah.
These ones are a little more durable, but Andre's always got them on. Are you done? You can see better. But I mean, but Andre, he's on a mission to always make sure that
Good cousin.
he pulls them right.
Yeah, so he makes sure
Oh yeah,
the nipple
he's really
isn't,
good.
isn't torn.
These ones are a little more durable. They last a little longer.
Yep.
Yeah.
But the silicone ones, those ones are no good. Here, come on. I don't want you dropping it on the floor here. Okay, you want it or not? Why are you being Mr.
The nipple is
Cranky?
not enlarged.
So,
What's your issue?
What I'm gonna do, I know you don't want his close up, which is fine. I'm gonna put him and the stroller
Okay.
on the scale,
Okay.
and then I'll put the stroller.
Okay. Okay.
So I'll just take this off.
Yeah, you being Mr. Fussy.
So anyway.
Okay, so I'm gonna lift him up. Yeah. Going around.
He's very verbal all day,
Yeah.
flipping himself around, pulling himself up, very proud of himself that he likes to sit.
17.0.
Communicates through whimpering,
Mhm.
right? Like, you know, I mean,
Okay, if you don't
we
mind.
know how to distinguish his sounds. If he gets himself into trouble,
Do you want to do it, or are
what do you want me to do?
We have to lift him out of the.
We just need to weigh the chair without him in it, so you need to hold him.
Why are you being a fuss pot?
Judy, you must be very strong for carrying him well.
Not as strong as I used to be, but yeah, I guess you can say. I'm just getting back into yard work. That builds muscle. I have good footing.
Okay, and then.
Sure you want me to put one there?
Nope, don't need to, because we're just gonna minus.
Okay, so what do you want me to do?
You can just put him back.
Length, actually, if you
Oh,
put
yeah.
him onto the board, that would be great.
On here?
Oh, one second. And then his head goes this way.
Did you poo? I'm trying to smell. Okay, that might hurt his back. I got him, I got him already, yeah.
I think he's longer, actually. Let me
Oh,
give
really?
him another.
What's Nana doing? What's your Nana doing? Oh, I can't imagine what it's gonna be like when he's bigger. There you go. We got ya.
You're okay.
What do you want?
His head right. Yeah. Really quick. Really, there we go. Yay. Twinkle. All done.
They're fine.
How I would do what you
Why? He's giving you shit now. That's what he's doing.
Why you do that?
Yeah.
Okay, you're all done.
Yeah.
All done.
Yeah, he's giving you heck. Can I put you back in the chair, Murray? Yeah, you're okay. You can handle it. There you go. You can handle it. You're fine. You're a fine young man. Yeah. I sing to him. I haven't been singing to him lately because I've been kind of too busy doing other things. But and we're going to get more into, once I get my kitchen cleared out, I'm going to be bringing him into the kitchen in that tomato chair.
Yep.
Making him a little chef hat.
Oh,
Right here,
perfect
Amari,
cookie.
Chef Amari.
Wonderful.
Yeah, and then, you know, I got like, you know, I want to do more school stuff with him.
Yeah.
The speech part, right?
Yeah.
So, get Tisha more involved with it, but, so, we'll see. There, okay. Here, have it back. Want it? Finish it.
Doesn't look so interested
No,
now.
you see, you can't force him, right?
Well, he's in a different environment here.
Well, no, he's like that at home though sometimes, right? So, you know, it depends, right?
So he did gain weight, so that's great. He grew in length, that's great.
Yeah, well, on his, like the father's side, like there are short, small people on both sides of the family, so I don't think he's ever really gonna be. But then that's hard to say because Andre was really small and kind of stubby, and now he's like, he's almost as tall as me. He's only 12, and his dad is like 6'2" actually. So I can. Oh, and Andre with Amari picking him up and doing. Andre's got little muscles.
Oh,
Andre's got little muscles.
last time he was here, hey, he was like in his split.
Yeah, but now he's got like little muscles.
Where is
A
he
12-year-old has little muscles.
Where's he today?
He's at home.
Yeah, he's at home because I might be getting a delivery of more beans and jars. I didn't want to lose them because people steal off my porch. It was my last. I needed the jars. And to order it that way through storehouse foods, the pound for the cranberry beans, turtle beans,
More food products.
Great Northern beans, and whole red lentils is like $2.99 a pound, which is the best deal that you can possibly find anywhere. But I really just wanted the jars because I bought this sugar that comes from India, and it has magnesium in it.
So he's gained weight and he's grown, which is fabulous. I made a follow-up appointment for October 3rd, and I thought you might want this so that when you see Dr. Ramesh, you can give that to him.
Okay. So more than likely, Tisha will probably end up bringing him.
Okay.
Unless, of course, I feel that I need to be here and relay this information. And hopefully we'll have better news next, in terms of Tisha will come and say, here's, Mom finally got the cookbook started. Here's some recipes. Because it's not easy.
Yeah.
I don't know what other people do. Like, what do other people do?
They
Not so much homemade food, and people buy the food, I guess.
they puree it too as well, and like they give, like they puree whatever the family is eating, so.
Assuming that they eat it,
Yeah.
right?
Like all kids too, right? They have good days where they like
Yeah.
certain foods, and they have days that they don't want any of it.
Well, it's really great that he's still liking to drink that, though, that's
Oh,
what.
yeah.
Yeah, so that's really good.
But he's aware, right? You know, and you have to remember, the last time he went was in March, and he remembers things. So he went from appointment to appointment to appointment at the Children's Hospital, right? So, you know.
My other question is in September, is he starting school?
No.
Okay.
No, we're not.
Okay.
He's not stressing out with that.
Okay.
Just keep him at homeschooling. He's happy. Andre's with him, right? I'll have to figure something out. I mean, I don't know what you guys expect from him in school.
What socialization, friends, activities?
It's okay, Judy. We've talked about it. You know what's available. You know when, and if you decide, it's there.
His cousins come by 2 times a week. I babysit the kids.
Yeah, that's great.
So he's very good with Alea May and little Kyrie.
Oh,
I can't wait to see pictures. So
Yeah.
How great is Andre?
And then Tisha's gonna probably like pick up with this childcare, take her to her house, take him to her house, and then there's even more kids. So that's socialization part is really covered.
Sorry, what grade would Andre be in? Is he reading and doing math and stuff?
Well, he's starting to read. Andre has a learning disability, but he's now starting to read.
Great, good,
So,
excellent.
but he still struggles with it.
Yeah.
He doesn't like it, but my son, his girlfriend, spent a fair amount of time with him. Now, mind you, I spent years with him. His brother, his uncle spent years with him, and then she started to spend time with him, and it all just kind of came together. So he's kind of at that point where he's now starting. Yeah, to some degree, but not every kid is. What is this? This is not mine.
No, that's Trisha's, I think. There we go, Trisha.
I'll leave that with you.
Yeah. I'll call. I'll ask tomorrow and see how to best do it.
I've got my follow-up coming, G, and I have to spray, so I know.
Great. You just need to.
So, and I know you're sensitive.
Not you. You're
to
sensitive.
smell, so you better get out.
My nose is
And don't forget your
I cough
video.
every time I spray that
Oh,
stuff.
oh yeah, right.
So, not to push you out, but I got a spray.